Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, guys. Happy Thursday and welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We had a little break on last night, but we are back. We're back. We're back. And I'm so glad that you all decided to pull up on me today. Thank you all for having those notifications set. So right now, I'm inviting you all in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Grab your seats, guys. Get settled up in here. Make sure you speak to your neighbor. Because here at Moca, everybody's somebody. We're all to be respected here. There are no big I's and there are definitely no little U's. Tonight we're here and we're going to talk about Kenneka Jenkins and ZACKTV. What he knew, what he uncovered, and why was he silenced? And why did he and Kenneka both disappear? So in the meantime, in between time, while you're getting in here and getting yourself comfortable, I encourage you all to hit that like button. Let's get those likes to match those views. And YouTube will know that your girl is back here doing what she do. And make sure you hit those emojis to the right. Stay in tune with Moca. I'm going to give you all a moment to settle, a moment to get in here, and a moment to reflect on that pinned comment I have up there. You all reflect on the pinned comment and drop your thoughts in the chat. And while you're doing so, I'm going to allow room for more to come in before we get started. We'll be back in just one moment.
Welcome to Moca, no love bills. Hit that like button, you might break the scale. If you can't join the membership, still ride for free, $99. Yeah, we lit in here. Comments popping, energy rocking, we all shine. We have a stay. We have a stay. Turn it up, we in the south with style and grace. Moca got 'em talking, can't nobody take a place. Now, from the bayou to the block, we drop truth, not tea. You ain't gotta pay the vibe, hit that like for free. Every panel on fire, every topic gon' trend. If you ain't a member yet, you still a friend, amen. Got love for the real, was no time for the mess. We keep it authentic, that's no labels at its best. Welcome to Moca, no love bills. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. Welcome to Moca, no love bills. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. It's Moca and the crew, we the talk of the streets. Bring the real back to YouTube, no scripts, no beats. We laugh, we drag, we educate too. All the bells in the chat know how we do. So tap in, lean back, sip your drink real slow. Let the haters keep watching, we steal the show. From Moca to NOLA, we hold it down steady. Platinum plus approved, that girl stay ready. Welcome to Moca, na 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 bells. Welcome to Moca, na 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 bells. Welcome to Moca, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. Welcome to Moca, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we pure, real talk. She ain't following a trend, she lead her own walk. No cameras, my mic check with no lights on blast. But every episode hit like first class. We ain't gossiping, we testifying, keep it bold. Every story got a lesson that need to be told. So hit that bell, join the ride in style. Welcome to Moca, stick around for a while. Welcome to Moca, no love bells. Where the bells ring, truth in the chat stay lit. Like, comment, subscribe, don't quit. If you can't join the membership, free not be nice. Deal with it. Deal with it. We outside. We outside.
All right, guys, we are back. We are back. We are back. Come on in here. Nola bells and Nola bows. Let's get comfortable. Slide on up in here. If you can hear me clearly, see me clearly, drop a heart in the chat for your girl. Let me know you're in the building. I see y'all coming in. I see y'all. And before we get into this commentary, I need y'all to do your girl a favor. Hit that like button, share the live out. You're new, sitting in the bushes, go ahead on and subscribe to the channel. Because over here, it's always purpose over popularity. We don't chase clicks. We chase uncovering truths. This is who we are. This is what we do. And before we even walk down this road, let me be very clear. Everything I said tonight is based on public information, my own opinions, and my commentary. What I'm doing is exactly what this platform has been built for. Asking questions. Looking at patterns and refusing to pretend that obvious red flags don't exist. So at any point this conversation is too heavy for you, protect your spirits first. You can always come back and catch that replay. You can always, because here we're grown, we're respectful, but we're honest. And you can disagree, but you're not going to be disrespectful. Because we all here on the same mission and the same accord, uncovering truths. So for everyone that's here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new to the chat, welcome, baby. Tonight we want to sit in a space. We want to sit in this space and we want to know if Zack was silenced because of what he knew, what he uncovered, and how many people really knew what he uncovered. And before we dig into the hotels, the friends, the footage, Teresa raggedy ass, and the rumors, we gotta bring Zack to the front of the class. We gotta talk about the man who put a camera in the middle of all of this chaos. We got people talking that would have never sat down with CNN, ABC, Fox, none of them, but Zack. Zack. Thank you so much, Platinum. Hey, sis, copyright notice is live streaming. All commentary is protected by U.S. copyright law. No recording, reposting, or reuse without permission. Fair use commentary and discussion. Thank you so very much. Zack was that person. But then he ended up unalive in a way that just did not look very random at all. This live tonight, once again, is titled What He Knew, Who He Exposed, and Why He Was Silenced. See, because we can't talk about the Kenneka Jenkins case and skip over this man. Put his life on the line, trying to document the truth. And that he did. That he did. So, chat, if you're ready to go there tonight, drop rest in peace, ZACKTV. Rest in peace, Kenneka Jenkins in the chat. Because tonight we're going to take a slow stroll. Welcome to each and every one of you that is just joining the live stream. Make sure you hit the like button. Grab a membership if you can and share out this live. Thank you all for the rest in peace, ZACKTV. Rest in peace, Kenneka Jenkins. Who was ZACKTV? ZACKTV, real name Zack Stoner. Zack wasn't just a regular YouTuber. Zack was a Chicago street journalist. Thank you all so very much for the rest in peace. Zack was outside, y'all. Zack was definitely outside. He was in hoods that mainstream media could have only thought about going in. Mainstream media wasn't touching those places, so all they did, they wanted a story. Mainstream media had to fly helicopters over the hood. Zack interviewed gang members, local rappers. He touched grieving families. Zack sat, Zack walked with dudes fresh out of jail. Young people that was in the middle of war zones. He did all of that. And this young man did all of that without even a bulletproof vest on. He had no security. He had no corporate backing. It was him, his camera, and the truth that he was trying to capture. You see, the streets trusted Zack. And the reason they trusted Zack is because he wasn't talking down on them, right? That's not who he was. That's not what he was doing. He wasn't sitting there like, look at these people, like they were zoo animals. He spoke to these people as if they were human beings. Zack wanted to know what was really going on out here. How did we get here? What do you want to say to the world? That's how he handled them. Zack built his channel from the ground up. In a city where you could easily lose your life just for being on the wrong block. And regardless of what you think about the content or the culture, you can't deny. You cannot deny that Zack was one of the first to give Chicago's unheard voices a platform. Do y'all understand the kind of courage it takes to walk into all of that chaos with nothing but a camera and a mission? You got to be prayed up. You got to be spiritually ready, because he dealt with all sorts of people. If you could respect Zack and the work that he done, drop some cameras in this chat, because that's who he was. That's who he was. Welcome to those of you that's just entering the chat. Nola Bells and Bowls, family and friends. If you're feeling this live, if you're feeling this conversation thus far, make sure you hit that like button, share out the live. Somebody somewhere needs to hear this. Now let's talk a little bit about how his path crossed with Kenneka Jenkins. You see, when Kenneka's story hit the internet, it wasn't just another missing persons case. This shit became a storm. Thank you all for dropping the cameras in the chat. This shit became an explosion. Because here you had a hotel. You had a young black girl. You had friends with phones, Facebook Live. You had conflicting stories, and a raggedy ass mama who just didn't give a damn. Mainstream media did what they always do. They ran with what the police said. They ran with what the hotel said. Mainstream media dipped in and out. But Zack, he stayed on the case. Those kids that was actually in those rooms. We have room 924 and 926. The ones that knew what happened. Those kids didn't go and have a sit down with CNN. They went and have a sit down with Zack. Of course, Zack interviewed Irene. Zack interviewed Monifa. Zack spoke with several people that tied to that night. And why was that? Because he saw them, and they saw him as one of us, not an outsider. Zack pulled up on him with his camera, and he said, hey, tell me your side. Tell the world what really happened. That's how he approached that situation. And whether you believe those girls or not, whether you think they were lying, scared, coached, or confused, the point is, Zack got the closest to their raw version of the story before they all started scattering, shutting up, and lying, telling lie after lie after lie. Whether we want to admit it or not, Zack picked up on the inconsistencies. He pressed them into contradictions, and oh boy, did he ever. He didn't just nod his head and move on. He pushed back. He let them tell their story. Rather it was the truth, rather it was a lie, he allowed them to regurgitate it. This ain't new news, it's all old news. But if you remember watching some of those interviews and feeling like, nah, these little hoes lying. Nah, these little bitches ain't telling Zack the truth. I remember those interviews. If you remember those interviews, put some ears in the chat, meaning I heard. I heard. I heard. See, when Zack, thank you all for the ears in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. Mocha, I'm not ignoring none of your questions. Keep them coming, baby, because I'm coming to them. I'm coming to them. See, when Zack dropped those sit-down interviews, when he dropped the one with Monifa, when he dropped the one with Irene, the internet exploded. I wasn't here when it initially went down, but I sat hours and hours and hours watching replay after replay after replay. I did. I did. And when I tell you it was something to damn see, it was something to damn see, right? My beautiful sister Rashina, thank you so very much for the super chat, my love. People were rewinding, even me, screen recorded, zooming in on facial expressions, slow motioning the reactions, picking apart every word. Those interviews. You had parts where the story didn't match the original Facebook posts. Timelines were off. Details kept changing. Body language was screaming, I'm hiding something, even though the words won't come out. I'm hiding something. And you can hear Zack in some of those conversations. Like, wait, man, you lying. That ain't what you said earlier. You can see the Zack's expression like, bitch, hold on. That don't make no sense. Explain that shit again. So believe me, Zack wasn't just sitting there for views. Zack was trying to connect the dots in real time. The more he recorded, the more tension you could feel around that whole goddamn situation. And y'all know the internet. Once people feel like someone is lying, it turns from curiosity to chaos. Because now people start making up their own theories. Rather it's the truth or a lie. Because you done fed them a lie. So now no matter how many lies they got to tell to make their lies feel like a truth, that's what the conspiracy theories are doing right now. And has been doing. Because these hoes came out from the gate lying. There were a lot of people that felt like Zack was exploiting the situation for clout. There was some that felt like he was the only one trying to get the truth out. Either way, Zack's channel became a major hub for Kenneka's case content. If you wanted to hear from the people at that party, you ended up on one of Zack's videos. Nola Bells and Bows, type "I remember" in the chat if you were on YouTube when all of this was dropping in real time. Zack put in the work. Zack put in the work. A lot of things unfolded. Thank you so much, Catherine. PJ, thank you, my love. Zack put in the work. Thank you all for typing "I remember." One thing about Zack, he put in the work. Zack realized when things started turning sour, Zack started seeing things early on during his investigation that, you know, he went digging into the Kenneka Jenkins case. He wanted the truth. And we have to start looking at this with common sense and not with what they want and what they've been feeding us for 8 years now. If you have a heart, if you have discernment, and if you have eyes that are not full of trash, now is the time to use it all. Because the truth has been speaking in real time. And all we got to do is pay attention. All we have to do is pay attention. Zack started saying in real time that people were trying to intimidate him. Zack was saying in real time that people didn't like how deep he was going. Zack also said he had more footage and more interviews that had not yet been released. That's when Zack accepted that, okay, I done start digging into this shit, and I done uncovered some shit that I should have not uncovered, but it was there. I'm digging into some shit trying to find out what happened with Kenneka Jenkins, and all of this other shit is popping up and laying itself in my lap, and I never expected. That's the mind frame Zack was in. I never expected all this other shit to fall in my lap when I was only investigating one young lady. It was in that moment Zack started saying to himself, I know too much. As the people talk, Zack was saying to himself, I got more than what y'all are seeing. Then Zack realized he had to start moving smart. One thing about him, he wasn't a dummy. And that's for sure. Zack knew that playing in the middle of the streets. Zack knew that playing gang politics and possibly stepping on the toes of people with power that had to come with the price. Zack made a sacrifice. Zack also made it very clear that he did not believe everything about the official accident narrative. He didn't believe it. And the reason ZACKTV didn't believe it, Zack had the initial footage of what took place in that hotel. Zack was one of the very first people that got his hands on that footage. So he had 36, he had the whole footage of what happened in 36 hours. As he sat there and went through that footage, Zack started questioning the hotel, the behavior of our friends, the way law enforcement handled it, and the sudden rush to close it up and move on. Zack moved like a man who was planning to go further, not just drop a few interviews and walk away. Now you have to ask yourself, if you're somebody with something big to lose, and there's a man with a camera, a big platform, and access to all these people, you'd rather stay quiet. How would you feel about it? Zack was a threat. Zack was a threat. Zack started exposing shit. And like I said earlier, Zack said in his own video, there were two people he trusted. I need y'all to follow me. Zack was a threat. See, it goes back to what I've always said, and something your grandmother and your mothers may have taught you. Everybody that smiles in your face ain't your friend. Remember that. Zack said there were two people, only two people that he trusted, that he shared what he had with. Right? One of the people that he trusted, that he shared that footage with, is no longer here. And then there was somebody else he shared the footage with. And it goes back, when I realized who else the footage was shared with, red flags went up. Red flags went up. And Zack shared what he was in possession of. When Zack shared all that he knew, Moca don't believe it was T Styles, because he left here right along with Zack. I don't believe Zack's friend broke into his place and stole his information. Allegedly. Moca's belief the very second person, that Zack shared what he knows with was the person that arranged a hit on Zack. Was also the person that stole all his personal information. Right? That's Moca's belief. So then, you have to use your discernment, your common sense, and open your ears and your mind to listen for factual things and not what you want. Because you see, you can't take what's happening here and run off of emotions, because your emotions will fuck you up. Right? Your emotions would truly fuck you up and put you in all the wrong places, have you pointing fingers at the wrong people. So you have to sit in a space where you can listen, Linda, listen, and connect the dots. That takes me where I'm going again. Here we have Teresa. Teresa was not at all pleased with what Zack had going on. Teresa was not pleased one way or another because Zack knew too much. Zack knew Teresa was involved. I mean, deeply involved. So Teresa was scrambling. Teresa, Nissa, thank you, my love. Thank you so very much. Continue to enlighten, sis. Evil is being revealed. We must invoke no prisoners, no surrender energy. Thank you so very much for supporting this live stream. Teresa was scrambling. Teresa knew it was a matter of time before Zack pulled the rug from under her. Teresa needed protection by any means necessary. Follow me, chat. I said that. And I want y'all to stay right there with me when I say Teresa needed protection. She needed to get her hands on Zack by any means necessary. And if you all agree with me, drop some hundreds in the chat. Mocha, I agree with you. Teresa could not stand Zack knowing as much as he knew, and she needed him to back off. She needed him to back off. At this time, Teresa had people in play. Then at this time, they were out there on the streets advocating justice for Kenneka. At this time, Teresa had a great relationship with those that were on the front line. If you with me, let me know you with me. At this time, ZACKTV, this nervous young man, don't know what direction to take because he's interviewing these people and he's going live and he's telling his story. But he's saying just a little too much. He's telling them what he got, and he's telling them he's tired, and he's telling them he's going to tell it. ZACKTV Confides. Follow me here. ZACKTV Confides in one of, at that time, one of the people that Teresa confided in. But she didn't confide in him. Hold up, back up, Moca, back up. These advocates were out there on that line, justice for Kenneka, risking their lives, endangering their families. Teresa knew what was really going on in the background. Teresa knew she was slimy. Teresa knew she wasn't standing on truth. Teresa knew she was feeding the frogs to fatten the snakes. She knew what she was doing. Teresa charmed Jedediah. Let's go there. She charmed him for a minute. She fed him just what she thought he was hungry for. It is my belief, allegedly, he went in there hungry, wanting to be front and center. Teresa reeled him in, and he didn't even know he was being reeled in. I want y'all to go back. I want y'all to go back. Teresa came, Jedediah stayed quiet for a long time. Never said nothing. Never said nothing. Guilt started eating the piss out of Teresa, and Teresa came out here with accusation after accusation after accusation. Teresa started taunting Jedediah. We got to call it like we see it. Moca ain't making up shit. Moca saying what she see. Teresa taunted that man. And all you got to do is sit back and pick up the little droppings that's being dropped. Pressure always busts pipes. Teresa did so much. Teresa said so much. Jedediah's response was, I'm about to expose Teresa. Those weren't the damaging words. What was damaging to me was when Jedediah said, for everything that I know, I protected that bitch. If anybody remember hearing him say that, please acknowledge it in the chat, because I don't want to believe that I was the only one that heard him say, for everything that he knew, he protected that bitch. Thank you, Carla Henry. Thank you, Keisha. Appreciate it. Strong Survive. Appreciate you. Follow me. Follow me. Those were his words. after he spoke those words. And those words have been haunting me ever since he spoke them. But the words that he spoke is beginning to make sense now. They're beginning to make sense. Chat. Let's rewind. We knew that ZACKTV passed on everything that he knew, shared all the information he had with two people. Two people. We didn't spoke about the first person. Do y'all see where I'm going with this? Now, he's even said, there are things that I know that I cannot say. Why? You're supposedly no longer connected to Teresa. So why now can't you say it? If you knew Teresa done something wrong, if you knew Teresa sat in the middle of all this shit and you're for what's right, why can't you expose it? Thank you, Marty. If you knew, and you're a man of God, you say, and you for what's right, why the secrets? Allegedly. This shit is deeper than we think. And I, Moca, will never have nobody playing in my fucking face. Jedediah said some things on Teresa. And now it's putting all the pieces together. We have to make it make sense. Here we have ZACKTV. The night that changed everything. May 30th, 2018, Chicago South Side, or South Loop area. Zach in his Jeep, going about his business. Car pulls up. He gets boxed in. They start shooting. Zach vehicle crashes. These people don't just hit and run. They jump out and they keep firing to finish the job. That was not a coincidence. That wasn't an accident. That wasn't an accident. They wanted to make sure he didn't leave that scene alive. ZACKTV was a target. He was a target. And being a target and hearing, I protected that bitch. They don't sit very well with me. That don't sit very well with me. Now I'm going to say something the way I feel it. And I don't give a damn who likes it and who don't. You don't unalive somebody like that over something very small. When the streets seen what happened to ZACKTV, nobody ever in human life called that shit a coincidence. That shit was a message. Zack was a man with a rapidly growing platform. People said he did it for clout. Regardless of what he did it for, he was on the truth. Zack said with his whole chest, I have more that I haven't released yet. And then the snake attaches himself to ZACKTV. Zack trusted them enough. Those two people, Zack believed and trusted in enough to share that information with them. All I know is the way this man was unalive, it does not match random. And the way this shit went quiet, it don't match high profile victim. And the timing. The timing is the key to all this shit, because shortly after all the heat around Kenneka's situation, that's when the real questions started coming out. Whether people liked it or not, Zack was exposing the masses. If you all in the chat, if you feel like this was deeper than just the streets, type deeper in the chat. Type deeper in the chat. We go walk through this tonight. We go slow strolling. We go slow strolling. Before we go any deeper, those of you who have not yet hit that like button, hit the like button for your girl. Share out the live. Grab a membership to the channel. Because, baby, we got work to do over here. We got work to do. Thank you, Monty. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, PJ. Thank you all. So let's move forward. Zack is no longer here. ZACKTV is no longer here. But the question still remains. Where's the justice? Now you sitting on information that you bullshitted out of me because it wasn't out of genuine love for what I did. It wasn't that you genuinely cared for me as a person. You were sent by the serpent and you behaved accordingly. You got what you wanted from me. Then I come up missing. So now you're sitting over there feeding the lies, giggling about it, sitting on all that information, all Zack's hard work. You're sitting on it. You know the truth. You know the truth. So why is there still no justice for Kenneka Jenkins? I want to know. Teresa ain't the only one going to hell for this one, baby. Even those that covered up, those that are still covering up, they're going to hell too. You sitting on all that information. So were you paid too to shut the fuck up? Because there's been no big press conference about solving it. No closure for the public, because fuck the family, because they're all in on it. No major documentary from mainstream media breaking this shit down, but just sitting on that information. You mean to tell me ZACKTV, a known public figure, a man with a large YouTube presence, unalive in a city full of cameras, traffic lights, witnesses, and we ain't had no loud, proud, we solved this, Chicago is safe moment? What the fuck? Make this shit make sense. This is what makes people feel with this whole situation. Either people are scared to talk or the wrong people are involved and gonna make you be quiet. And it's dangerous because it sends a clear ass message to anybody else picking up a camera for truth. It's letting them know we could touch you too and nothing will happen. So we gotta ask ourselves, what does Zack know? What did he know? What did he see? And what was on that footage that he never shared with the world? What was it? And we have to be honest, we may never get those answers. Ever. But I refuse to sit here and pretend that a man like Zack just happened to get taken out like that. When you look at the Kenneka Jenkins case, and you look at the way anyone who tries to go too deep into it either gets silenced, threatened, discredited, or just suddenly quiet, then you start realizing this shit ain't about no freezer. It ain't just about a hotel. It's about what happens when truth becomes a threat. And ZACKTV, in my opinion, was a walking threat to whoever wanted this shit buried. This is insane. But we're going to talk about it. We most definitely will talk about it. ZACKTV. We want to talk about what he knew, what he stumbled across, when ZACKTV said that was not Kenneka in that casket. Zack said that was not Kenneka in that hallway, and he knew that. And the reason Zack stood on saying that it wasn't Kenneka in that hallway, remember, Zack had the actual footage. Zack had exactly what took place. So when Zack stood in the front of the class with his whole chest and said that wasn't Kenneka in that hallway, he also said that wasn't Kenneka in that freezer. And the reason Zack could have said that, because Zack said everything was altered after that. Remember, we spoke about the Kenneka double, the Kenneka lookalike. Zack said Zack said it was all a replay. Zack said they restructured that scene and it was paid actresses and actors. Zack said they got paid to reconstruct what happened in that hotel. That's why you could hear them today out here saying it was a movie. Zack was so close. Zack knew that it was Antonia Evans in that coffin. Zack knew it was Antonia Evans in that freezer. Teresa knew that Zack knew, allegedly. And unfortunately, in the space we're in tonight, 8 years later, I'm afraid that good old Jedediah knows it too. So why isn't he speaking on it, y'all? Prior to Zack disappearing or being unalive, Zack was followed, stalked for 2 weeks. And the words this man spoke still rings clear in my head. Because I can't unhear it. Can't unhear it. I protected that bitch. What? And I asked that question when I first heard it. What are you protecting her from? So are you protecting her? Or are you protecting you? Because it just amazes me. As soon as Zack said he was going to drop the rest of the interviews, everything went left for him. Everything. Zack sitting there with 36 hours of footage from Crown Plaza Hotel. Nothing edited. Zack had raw footage. That's why Zack was able to come out here and said, I can't believe y'all done that girl like that. He was saying this whole while, when Zack was sitting there on his interview saying about the 36 hours of footage that he was in possession of, and he was going to release it. While he was on live, Zack was getting these phone calls from Teresa. Can't nobody make me believe that it wasn't Teresa. But Teresa, you sitting your ass here playing in the world's face for all these years. But yet, you're so interested in your own storyline, you forgot that you told America that you had cancer. Not one time since all of this has taken place has this woman addressed cancer. Not one time. Let me grab some of these comments, and I know we're far behind, but baby, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. Catherine, my love, Catherine says, the 2-year backlog from the morgue and the footage of the basement tunnels. Catherine, we know that quote unquote, so say kitchen allegedly. We know what that is. We know what that is. That's a makeshift morgue all day long. Tunnels under the hotel tells a story. Tells a story. But how could you sit there with all of this shit on your chest, all of this on your heart? See, with all of this shit that's going on, all the hidden truths. Shut up, Moca. Come back to that. Come back. Hoo child. Welcome, 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 everybody in the chat. If you've not yet hit that like button, make sure you hit the like button for your girl. And go on and engage with the emojis to the right. Tap, tap, double tap your screen. Share out the live. Grab a membership. Join the family. Vanessa, welcome, my love. Vanessa says, good evening, Miss Moca. I know you don't know me and I don't know you. We're family, my love. We ain't got to know each other personally. We're family over here. And if you're down in this chat, that means you're here for the same reason that we are. So you are family. I enjoy watching. I have a question I need to ask you. And yes, ma'am, you can send it to my email. And I'm pretty sure one of my beautiful mods is going to drop that email address in the chat for you, baby. Henry Boone, welcome, my love. Henry said Zack lost his life because he was 1 second on busting the Kenneka case wide open. And Henry Boone, that's what they feared the most. That's what they feared the most. Mm-hmm. Zack, the only thing I could say in a negative light when it comes to Zack, right? The only mistake I believe he made, the work was done and it spoke for itself. But the only mistake I believe Zack really made, he trusted the wrong people. Zack was finessed by a snake. Zack was manipulated by somebody who presented themselves as a warrior for truth and justice. And he gave the information to the wrong people. Because there's no damn way I could give up valuable information like that, knowing that it's a possibility that I could lose everything of me, even my life around it. And I trust it in the hands of somebody that I think is trustworthy. And the case that I sacrificed it all for still don't have no justice, because the snake, the sheep, is still sitting on that information and doing nothing with it, because it appears that they're in the same hole with Teresa. That back and forth arguing with Teresa. That's a plot. That's a ploy. That's a goddamn distraction. And one thing I've come to understand, you have to notice the distractions. You have to pay attention to them, because they're there. The distractions come smiling, but they're there. Catherine says Bree knock knees is the only one to do the MTV interview. What was her main role? Isn't that interesting? The only one. Bree did the interview. Yes, I get that. But if we're going to be right, we're going to be politically correct. Strong survived. Yes, indeed. Zack was definitely at that party. He was there. Whatever his intentions were, whether it was good, bad, right, or wrong, he came back and he admitted that he was in attendance to that party. Kenneka friends, or her so-called friends, they none ain't shit. I believe, in my opinion, allegedly, do these girls know what happened to Kenneka? Hell yes, they do. Were they involved? Yes, they were. Did they unalive her? I don't believe all of them. Is Monifa guilty? In my opinion, hell yes. I believe. See, Monifa fed Kenneka to the enemies. Because I want to understand, how is it that Kenneka is in this bed? Now, we heard about Kenneka being in that bed drunk before we saw anything outside of that room. Kenneka was in the bed drunk. Why did Monifa take a drunk Kenneka out the bed, sit her outside that door, and left her the fuck there? See, because Kenneka wasn't supposed to lay in that bed. Laying in that bed and trying to sleep it off, it affected the timeline. And Monifa was on a schedule. She got her instructions before even going there. Because this is where it really gets ugly. Yes, it was Irene's party. And some other dude, killer, whatever his name, it was their party, right? Kenneka knew she was going to the party. Maya knew they were going to the party. Bree knew they were going to the party. The question is, how the fuck does Monifa end up at that party and she wasn't even invited? How did Monifa end up at a party that she wasn't invited to? Now you're at a party that you're not invited to. But yet you're the main character. You sit in the center of all this shit. Monifa's hands are dirty. Because why would you put this girl out there? Henry Boone says when they unalived ZACKTV, they grabbed his laptop with information dealing with the real proof of the Kenneka Jenkins situation. And yes, they did. Monifa needs to come to the front of the class. And if you notice, everybody that's deeply involved in this, Teresa never challenged him. Nothing was never said. Because in Teresa's eyes, all this shit is acceptable. And why is it acceptable, Teresa? Because these girls, well, not these girls, Monifa for sure. Monifa was there because you sent her. All this shit is beginning to make sense. And it is my desire and my wish that after all these years, and I'm going to say it again, I was not on this case in the very beginning. I wasn't. But all you need is common sense, a clear discernment, and an understanding to smell a rat when it's a rat. Catherine says in the picture of Zack and Lenore, she had the look of a clown. Oh, yes, yes. Guys, can you hit the like button for your girl? That's right, Strong survives. Zack had the videos. Zack had the ammunition. My girl says, not at all. He knew the truth because the math was a math. And says Rashina, he knew it. Zack was on it, baby. He was on it. So I'm going to ask this question. Let me ask this question. The way all of this is unfolding, from everything that we're seeing, the tunnels, the edited footage after Zack got the real footage, the unaliving of Zack for the footage. And I believe he was unalived because the real footage, they don't want it out. Right? I believe, and this is just my belief, right? This is only my belief. I do believe all this shit was staged. I believe it because why are we fighting so hard to keep footage hidden? I asked this the other night. Is Kenneka Jenkins really deceased? Discernment. Don't lie when you're spiritually grounded. When I look at ZACKTV supposedly being unalived as well, all the bullets that went through that vehicle, there was no blood at the scene. There were things missing. Things that supposedly happened to Kenneka could not be accounted for, not the proper way. Kenneka had a staged funeral. Somebody else in the casket. And then Teresa bringing her raggedy ass out here saying that Kenneka was cremated. So this seems like a storyline to Moca. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. How could two people in the same area how could two people in the same area, both unalived, and there is no evidence that they're really unalive? It's a shame. It's a damn shame if this is truly the case. I believe something more sinister is going on here. I refuse to walk with all these theories. And I have to be totally honest with you guys. I do come out here and bring content. But this case here is deep. Not only is it deep, it's dark, it's demonic, it's energy harvesting. It sucks the life out of you. So when y'all see that Moca don't post, she's going live, or Moca's just quiet in the corner, that's because I refuse to let this shit eat up all my energy. Because it's dark. It's dark. And Teresa, I don't know what she has going on. If y'all notice, she's quiet right now. Very quiet. She's into sacrificial shit. Now, all of a sudden, if you notice where Teresa is right now, I don't know if any of you have been following her Facebook, but if you notice where she is right now, that location where Teresa is, Teresa is sending up burnt offerings, making sacrifices. Teresa is playing with black magic. The scene, the scenery in which she shows, because if you notice, it ain't much that she's showing, but it says a lot. This is heavy. This is deep. This is dark. This is ugly on all levels. How do you make these type of sacrifices? these rituals and playing in the people's face. Because to sit there and rescript the whole scenery the way they rescripted, trying to make the world think that that was actually Kenneka on the videos, on the footage. That's insane. And I saw somebody in the chat earlier asked about the lookalike, the double, the girl that looked like Kenneka. That was a paid actress. So the question is, where's Kenneka? The question is, where is ZACKTV? And the bigger question is, why? Why? All of this for $1? I can't see it. You have to have the darkest, ugliest, blackest, meanest heart there is for $1. And what would really be sad is if Kenneka Jenkins is really alive. She wouldn't, you would have to call it for what it is. Because that meant she was part of the problem. She was part of the setup play. She was part of that, plot twist and went along with it. So why now? Because Teresa's out here and the things that she's doing, and she's telling without telling. I don't want to read too far into this, but I follow the spirit. And dealing with those type of demons, you better rely on the spirit. Catherine says, girl, wait a minute. Catherine says, Moca, there was no footage of Zack's funeral service. Just a procession to the cemetery. But Kenneka, though, that's another play in our face. Catherine. Let me ask y'all something. Does half of what I am saying tonight, does half of it make a little sense to y'all? Does it make any sense to y'all what I'm saying? Demonic forces and witches and warlocks, we're going to be fighting this the rest of our lives, and there still will be no answer. There will still be no answer because I believe both these people are still alive. Thank you all for agreeing and believing in this conversation tonight. I do believe both of these people are still alive. And it's sad. That's a dangerous game. Catherine, I heard it. Catherine, I heard it. Catherine says in the live of Kenneka and Shemaiah, Kenneka said, I'm going to be put up after the 6th. See what I'm saying? It's this shit like this. It's this type of shit right here. Spiritual warfare is real. Dancing with the devil. But my biggest question is why? What are we covering up? Yeah, sis, it's a big cover up. What are they covering up? Who are they protecting? And what is really behind all of this shit? At this point, they may as well tell us. At this point, we may as well know. At this point, all I want to know is, why do this to the public? I don't give a goddamn what y'all do amongst one another. Why do this shit to the public? Teresa, you ain't shit. You ain't shit, Teresa. Because if that money allowed you, and it's sad, everybody that collected money, y'all ain't shit for doing so. Because the question still remains. See, that's how I know this shit is not only deeper than we know, but several people are involved. Several. And that's one of the reasons. Hush money is a bitch. And that's one of the reasons why I believe they're not deceased. Too many people collected money on this in the name of this girl. And the question remains, why did so many people have to be paid? If Teresa was being recognized as her legal guardian. Teresa, you're the only one on paper, you and that daddy. So why would outsiders? Why would the stepsister? Why would the brother? Why would everybody be compensated? That was to shut the hell up. That was for peace to be still. Don't wake this shit up no more. She ain't here because we say she ain't here. Not that she ain't here because y'all saw her go away. She ain't here because I said she ain't here. So the real question still remains, where is Kenneka? My sister says the truth of what really happened to the both of them and the higher up will get exposed if the truth comes out. And you know what? Sister, ain't but one person right now holding on to the truth. See, Teresa in her heart knows the truth. Because she birthed this shit. Let's be honest. Teresa birthed this shit. But there's only one other person that really knows the truth. And that's the person that's holding the files that Zack trusted and believed in them enough to share with them. Ann says, I don't think Kenneka's alive. They wouldn't give Teresa all that money if Kenneka was still here. And think about it. This is what I want you to hold on to, Ann. We're looking at corporations, companies, big wigs. These people got a business going on. A business that's generating millions and billions of dollars. Right? That little bit of money that they gave Teresa, that's pennies compared to what they would lose. That's pennies compared to what they could lose. And that's what that NDA was for. Why else would they have it sign an NDA? To release all liability from them. Island girl, Teresa definitely knows more. AB Original Man, welcome, my love. Teresa definitely knows more. Sassy, exactly. That's what type of money it is. Shut the fuck up. Hey, Samantha, welcome, my love. That's what it is. Shut the fuck up money. Sheena says, see, Teresa wants more money. That's why she's acting crazy. So she won't tell what she truly knows. Her money ran dry. So now she's acting as if she wants to talk to get more money from the higher ups. She's playing a dangerous game. She's playing a very dangerous game. Catherine said, that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Is it because they stole all of these missing children? That's where it starts. That's the part they didn't want to come out. That part there. And I think Zack knew. That part there, I also believe Jedediah knew. That part there would have Teresa under the jail. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. We heard about Kenneka being stalked. We heard about Kenneka being gang stalked. Let me share my opinion and my thoughts on the gang stalking, right? Is gang stalking real? Absolutely. Was Kenneka really being gang stalked? Probably not. Moca, why you say that? Moca, you always got something different to say. We could look at gang stalking one or two ways. But I'm not going to look at gang stalked in the more deeper level of gang stalking there is. They all them little hoes were affiliated with gangs, right? Now, if that's the type of gang stalk you mean, I get it. All them little hoes were affiliated with gangs. Was she really gang stalked? Of course, her friends set her up. That very same friend that threw her ass in that hallway and left her there. She didn't like her. She didn't care nothing for her. But she put her out there. Now, could it have been her and the gang affiliation that they have that stalked Keneka's move and her whereabouts? It's a possibility, yes. But real life gang stalk? No. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Kitty says the sad part about all of this is Teresa only wants money and no justice for Kenneka. Well, if we want to be honest with ourselves, we have to say that there will be no justice for Kenneka. Let's be honest. There won't be none. Kenneka's justice ended. It ended when Teresa accepted those $3.7 million. That's it. And that's all. Look at this. Just Catherine. See how it's all beginning to make sense? Catherine says Kenneka was supposed to go into a witness protection after she testified about that shooting. I'm going to leave that right there. And then the father of that shooting incident that Kenneka supposedly witnessed, didn't he come out here and open and close that case as if he played a major role? It don't take much. It don't take much to connect the dots. And this case pretty much could be solved. Not everybody could do it. But if you have common sense and you're walking with a hedge of protection and you're spiritually equipped, common sense and discernment tells your story. This is sad. Hey, Mimi. She said in an accidental or wrongful death lawsuit, only one parent gets paid, not girl. So that you see what you just said, Mimi? That speaks volumes, right? How the hell so many people got paid? How the hell so many people got paid? And not only that, see, you have to look deeper and look at the bigger picture, right? Look at the famous, well, the celebrities, the Hollywood celebrities whose names are tied into this hotel. Look at their backgrounds and see what they're into. They're playing with witches. They're playing with warlocks. They too are playing with black magic. They too are into the organ stuff. This tells a whole story. My sister said, see, we have to think outside of the box. The gray area. It's way more to this than what was told to us. Secrets are about to be exposed, and they're coming slowly. Our God is in a space where he's tired of the shenanigans. All the darkness in the world. This will not last forever. Rashina says, you see, y'all got to remember that a person who worked at a hotel, family owned a funeral home, and they were busted for OH. Y'all put your thinking caps on that part, sis. It's deeper, deeper. And that's how poor Antonia got caught up. Antonia wasn't your normal 18, 19-year-old running with Kenneka. She really wasn't. She really wasn't. Antonia was in her 40s. It was sad. Kenneka was there. See, Kenneka had instructions too, allegedly. Allegedly. Allegedly, Kenneka was supposed to be at that Crown Plaza, setting up Antonia. And it backfired, allegedly. So now, if that is really the case, we can't sit up here and say, poor Kenneka. Y'all remember in the very beginning, when I first came out here with this story, my gut told me in that moment, every person had a role to play. Every person had an assignment. And allegedly, Kenneka had an assignment too. Will Moca roll with that theory? Not really. Because I don't know that to be factual. But what I do know is what I sit in. And that's my truth, and that's my spirit, man. Something about all of this shit just don't sit right. And I do believe, that is my belief. I believe ZACKTV is alive. I also believe, respectfully, they're both alive. Were they perfect? No. Did they put themselves in dangerous situations? Hell yes, they did. But the story don't end there. We will continue uncovering these stories, one piece at a time. Vanessa says, thank you, Moca and everyone. in the live, for inviting me to the family. I love y'all. We love you more, girl. Carla Henry, I agree with you. Carla Henry says Kenneka was flipping game to game. I heard that. And that comes consequences. Consequences. All these conspiracy theories. Stay woke, y'all. That's a distraction. Use that God's given gift that He's given you. And don't let nobody sway you from what you feel, think, nor believe. Because if you feel it, think it, and believe it deep down in your heart, it's true. It's true. Henry Boone says, Moca, I know one thing. If Teresa start talking against the high elites, the Illuminati, they're going to chow. Henry Boone. Teresa knows exactly what she's up against. She knows what she's against. Cakes Bless says they just busted billionaire for using human to hunt as a game. Wow. Wow. Ann Jones. Ann Jones, sister. You see what you just said, mama? That just wrote the script. And that told it all. And says they said Kenneka was setting people up and she was supposed to have witnessed. And listen. Whether it's you, me, Kenneka, or anybody else. When you do dirty work, when you play with the devil, you dance with the devil, you eat and sleep with the devil, just know, Mr. Cleanup Man, he's coming back and get everything that you thought you took. You can't do dirty in life and not expect it to come back. You just cannot. Because that's not how shit works. Hey, Nina Ray, welcome to the NOLA Bells, my love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad to have you as part of the family, my love. Family and friends, welcome Nina Ray to the NOLA Bell family. Cakes Bless as you shouldn't, my love. Cakes Bless says. So I don't put anything by people these days. Crazy world out here today. Just be careful. Cake Bless. I agree. Be careful. And stay prayed up. Stay prayed up because the devil is busy. And he's also a liar. He's also a liar. I heard about the murder mystery games at the Crown Plaza. I heard all of that. Carla Henry says, Kenneka's supposed to have been child with Andrew Holmes' daughter. Huh. Portia, you better know it, sister. Whatever's done in the dark, it gotta come. It gotta come. It gotta come to the light. Shemaiah said, but you know, I'm very careful as to what I hear about from those friends of those so safe friends of Kenneka's. Shemaiah, she did say that Kenneka was one of the biggest snitches in Chicago. But if y'all knew she was a snitch, why would y'all be around her and call her your friend? That shit don't make sense to me. It don't. Catherine says, and all of them that died behind this case could not deal with the lies. And we're talking definitely. Girl. The distraction is real. The distraction is real. AB Original Man says, I think Zack was dating one of them girls. And that's why I believe he was playing both sides. Well, it was said that he tried to like Kenneka. She didn't like him like that. So I don't know. But you can't dance with the devil and expect to come out with angel wings. Was he putting story out there? Yes, he was. Was he doing the work? Yes, he was. But was he careful enough? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Sis Rashina, that discernment, girl. That discernment. AB Original Man says, Sis Moca, I really appreciate the way you covered this case. It feels like we're getting closer to the truth here. Thank you for your time and wisdom. Thank you, my love, for being a part of the family. Thank you for being a part of the family. Teresa has a hell of a price to pay. All those involved have a hell of a price to pay. And we're going to, as a family, we're going to keep using our discernment. We're going to keep walking this walk using our God-given common sense. We're going into this with our eyes wide open, not too emotionally invested, because we have to protect our peace here. Because this is dark. This is nasty. This is something that no human should ever have to deal with one-on-one. And as a collective unit, as a family, as those that are vested in knowing the truth, we're going to do this one step at a time. The right way. Rashida said yes and no. They were going to take him out anyway because he knew too much. Too much. Too much. Catherine said Zack was supposed to have moved in silence and received the attention after. Girl, that's the word right there. After he dropped all of the information and interviews. Went by the wrong way. Thank you so much, Mutual. Mutual says, Moca, you broke this case down like a prosecutor in court. Thank you, my love. This is nasty. This is evil work. Evil work. Family and friends. If you got anything, that you're taking away from this live stream tonight, do me a favor. If you haven't already hit that like button, please do so. Those of you in the bushes, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. We would love to have you here. Share this live with somebody who still remembers Kenneka's case and Zack's work. We don't just come over here to gossip. We're doing documentation, reflection, and accountability. Zack worked his ass off. Zack broke this case, but was never able to present it. To Zack TV's family, if y'all ever hear this, from one storyteller to another, from one community's voice to another, we saw him. We see him. We remember him. And for all the work that he's done, his name carries respect. No bells and bows. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me at yet another night. We're going to keep uncovering these demons. We're going to strip them naked. But we got to be prayed up in order to do so. When this unraveling of these cases and us diving into them, when they get heavy, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to refresh and regroup, because you can't pile all of this stuff on you at one time. We're going to be back doing more. But in the meantime, you guys, I encourage you all to stay safe. Stay aware. And don't ever be afraid to ask, what are they not saying? This is your girl, Moca Unfiltered. While purpose here is always over popularity, here we speak for the voiceless. We speak for the silenced, and we speak for the ignored. I love you all. I want to say thank you all for those that joined the channel tonight and became new members. Thank you to my supporters for rocking with your girl and believing in the content, supporting the channel through Cash Apps, super chats and super stickers. I see y'all. I see y'all. And I appreciate everything. To my replay gang, I love you all as well. Don't forget that pinned comment. Drop your thoughts in the comment section and let me know how you look at this case. And again, I'm Moca Unfiltered, where we stand on truth, we set boundaries, and we respect not only the content, but we respect one another. I love each and every one of you all. I'm going to say good night and God bless.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. No. Moca leading from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Tapping if you real, we don't fake nothing here. Got a team full of truth and a chat full of cheer. Moca in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. Know the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the check gon' rep that crowd. We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. Moca leading from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Down in the NOLA where the soul don't break. Moca built the lane where the real ones stay. Ain't no faking the funk, ain't no playing for clout. You bring that mess, we gon' sort that out. But this ain't about drama, it's about love. It's about healing, it's about trust. Every child, every voice, every name in the breeze. We gon' stand for the ones no one else gon' see. So we rise tall, we rise as one. Oh, no bellows, the work ain't done. Moca leading from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. One mic, one tribe, one mission in mind. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide. Where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you, we fight for the cause. Every kid, every tear, we break down walls. When you hear that bell, that's the call to act. We family now, and that's just facts. We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. Moca leading from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This one's for every voice we fight for and every child who needs to be heard. We see you, we feel you. We stand with the truth. This is the No Labels. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Stand tall with join the family.
Good night, everyone. God bless.